goodness, I am no expert at this. But I've got nothing but time. I'm heading west. And let's just bring it up. If you wanted to do van life and you were looking at like pros and cons and things, first of all, Bob Wells is the guru on all of this. Go YouTube Bob Wells. Follow him, YouTube, Instagram. Man, he's got a video for everything. He's got a video on this. He's probably got 10 videos on this. Go watch him. But let's just talk it out if you want to, if you feel like going there with me for a minute. For me, you have to figure out what's really important to you, and then you have to find your sweet spot. There's always a sweet spot with the money, safety, efficiency, and what's important to you. If you've got nothing but money, you can do whatever you want. That's going to be your choices are going to be different than, say, my choices. Okay. This is not a $100,000 van. This is not a build out. This is a $22,000 2017 Ford Transit 350 that was a passenger van that I stripped out, and me and Tanya and I built out that bed out of an old chicken coop my sister had, that I had taken that wood, repurposed it into a pottery shelving for my in-home studio, because I'm an artist and I was doing my pottery from home. I had a kiln, and that shelving is now the bed, because every piece of wood mattered. Because I don't even think Tanya, I think what we buy one piece of wood. When it came down to it, one or two pieces, I think we used a half. It was really about not spending any money. What's important to me are windows. When you have windows in a passenger van, like, look how you can see. I can see all the way around. Well, let's do this one. I can see all the way around. It depends if I've got my curtains up and whatnot, and how much crap I have out, how clean I am today. But for me, that is like high on the list of what's important to me. Not feeling claustrophobic and having all this exposure to what's around me. The beauty of it, the openness of it. It also then can make you feel vulnerable and exposed. So I do work on closing that down, and you are now very much affected by your exterior factors, weather, heat, humidity, cold, and we can talk about that, because this won't be insulated. I don't insulate this. So if you have a box van, Bob Wells has great videos on this, box van versus passenger van, you can insulate a box van. And I looked at that, and Tanya and I looked at insulating even in here a little bit. I think we packed in insulation on one part of the one wall, but after all that's said and done, you still have all these windows. What's the point? So now what I end up doing is, they call it chase the weather. I don't know if that's the right word, chase the weather, but that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm going to better weather. I am craving arid climate, which is so funny. Never say never. First of all, I've never ever been a van lifer. I hate the desert. I am going to the desert. Oh my God. That's one thing that's really funny about me too, is everything that I say no to or I would never do, I end up, not everything, but watch me end up doing a lot of the things, or some of the things that I said no to. Can't stand the desert, man, boy. I'm craving the desert. I'm gonna go into some arid, high desert area. I want to hike. I want some elevation. I want just pretty stuff, pretty hikes for me and Benji to do. But then I can park this somewhere where it gets nice and chilly at night. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite. It got so chilly in here last night, dry and chilly, because it's really easy for me now to get us warm. We can do videos. Bob Wells has tons of videos on this too, on how to get warm. A lot of layers. Put things on the windows. There's ways to do all this. There's a van life video for everything too. You can YouTube all this, but we can do them too. But if you've got the money and you want to spend it, here's another thing though. pros and cons on spending the money on vans that are build outs. Someone has already done it for you, which there's ease in that, but then you lose control and decor, which is up to you. Also, I don't like bells and whistles. For every bell and whistle, that's something that can break, that I have to fix, that I have to pay someone to fix, or I have to figure it out myself, YouTube it. And believe me, there are bells and whistles on these. I've already had 2 mechanical issues that were on sensors on this thing, because it's a 2017. You know, back in the day when I grew up, you have an old car, you could figure out how to fix it. That's not how these things work anymore. Bob Wells has great videos on that. If you want an older van versus a newer van, gas mileage. I had a little teeny tiny Ford Transit Connect, which was amazing. I could drive that thing anywhere. I got 1,000,000 gallons to the mile, 1,000,000 miles to the gallon. Realistically, I think I got like 26. That thing was fun, but we were smushed in there. Like, it was so tight. I was miserable. My back hurt all the time. I'm tall. I'm 5'7". Well, that's tall to me. It's tall when you're in a little teeny tiny van. So for me, the priority, and I didn't even know when I was buying this, I wasn't even sure if I was going to go full time. And then it got really definitive that I was. And then it got really important that I can stand up in here. My head touches the tippy top. If I put a ponytail on top, I'm smushed. So this is clearly, I don't know what the inches are. Clearly it's 5'7"-ish. But to stand in here was important to me. Like, you have to figure out, oh, I can do yoga on my floor down here. I was gonna bring a kayak. Oh my gosh, I miss my kayak so much. I can't even express how much I miss it. But I don't miss it enough to sacrifice the space that I have in here to navigate my surroundings, to move around, have my back's always hurting. Just from sitting and driving. I'm used to moving around a lot, so sitting and driving a couple days in a row really takes its toll on my back. But I need to be able to do some yoga. I'll do some yoga here, and then when we get to camp, oh my goodness, am I gonna do some yoga. I'm gonna do yoga. I'm not gonna tell you guys where I'm going. I should tell you where I'm going. I'm gonna do some dispersed camping out in Moab. Oh, on a canyon. I've been there before. I hope I get the same spot. And then I'll show pictures. I'm gonna do some yoga right there on the red dirt ground. Can't wait. Stretch my back out. But that was important in here to have that space. So also here's another thing. Bob Wells has videos on RVs, campers. Man, they're bad ideas unless you can afford the upkeep, because they are. Remember that movie Money Pit with Tom Hanks, where everything goes wrong? RVs, the minute you pull it off a lot, if it's not brand new, if it's used in any kind of way, you now have a money pit. You are now fixing someone else's problems. And that is not bagging on RVs and people who have RVs. Because if you have an RV and you love it, that means you have the means or the skill set to keep up with it. I do not. Even this rattle here. I have to figure out how to fix this rattle. So anyway, pros and cons. Figure out what's important. If you like a box van, so box vans are great because you get a box van. So you get a white Ford Transit, medium top, tall top box van. Oh my gosh, you can get a tall top box van. They are priced through the roof right now. I found one for $38,000 that looked like a hunk of junk. I didn't have $38,000 and I didn't want to. And it was aesthetically unpleasing to me. It was so ugly to me. But that thing was stealth. You could park that anywhere. And if you guys are not familiar with stealth parking, that means like you're not just camping out at campgrounds, those are paid, or camping out dispersed camping, that's free. You can do your research and find that. I've got a lot ahead of me as I'm going to the west to look into where I want to stay, because I'm just a baby at all of this. I'm just so new at all of this. But if you want to stealth camp, you can pull up into a parking lot of a warehouse with a box van. If you don't have any of your stickers or anything on, I like some stickers on mine. But like, if you don't have any of that, and you just look like a work van, you can put some work gloves on your front, put a notebook or clipboard and a pen on your dash, put something that covers right here, and live in your back, and no one would ever even know the difference. You could park for free forever. Now that's more urban van life. Like, I've got no desire to do any of that. None. none at all. I'm not an urban girl. Thought I was at one point. I guess I'm not. But if that's your jam, you can do that all day long. Or how about like you get one of those old conversion vans? They look like Scooby-Doo van, or like a passenger van. Gas size. I never found a conversion van. I don't think they make it that's tall enough to stand up. But say you don't mind it, like just laying low. And those things are built out anyway. I think you can just take the seats out and you've got like, oh gosh, they're pretty cushy inside there. You can look at that. Old engines, so I was looking at old conversions vans. You have an old engine, that's going to take some work. Bob Wells will talk about at what miles, what van's going to start to need some real work. I don't have the money for all that stuff, nor do I want to. Anyway, okay, so that's enough for now. What's important to you? I did not put flooring in here. The flooring can be taken out and replaced. It's a rug from my apartment. It's a couple rugs from my apartment. And I did that on purpose, A, because I had resources, I could use them. I was just repurposing resources. Every single penny, every penny. Every penny mattered and matters. So if I can repurpose something, I was going to, and I did. And then I also repurposed furniture in here. This back here, I don't want to take the phone and show you. It's Jimmy, my brother-in-law, loves it every time he sees it. It's their old TV stand, but it's a wooden bench style. Very solid, like dresser drawers. Then Tanya and I put locks on. And it's got an open place for where you would put your electronics. Well, I put blankets and towels in there, and then I can grab extra blankets, electric blankets in there. Because when it gets cold, I can plug into my Jackeries. Oh, we should talk about power sources too. We'll do that in another video. But that has now become my bench. See, so I repurposed some furniture. I don't want to build out. I don't want things to be permanent. I've already thought about taking that thing out and putting my kayak in here. Like, I'll go back and rebuy my kayak back from my neighbor that I sold it to. Oh, I hope he's using it. Oh, I miss it so much. I was trying to figure out last night how to puzzle pieces placed together. If I could take that out, I'll sacrifice some seating for that kayak, will I? I don't know. I'm still noodling on it. When you have a van built and every cabinet's put in, you are really stuck. And maybe that makes you happy. You're really where everything is supposed to be. I have moved things around in here 1,000 times. And I'll keep doing it. It's actually part of the nesting. Nesting to me, I call it nesting, is really soothing to me. It helps me, sorry, there's some heavy traffic coming, helps me feel comfortable to reorganize and take some things out that I don't need so that I can bring some things in that become more important to me. Anyway, feel free to ask questions in the comments. I still have to look at my YouTube at that. I'm still learning this stuff, guys. Please show me some grace. Pretty please, thank you for showing me some grace on this. I haven't had a lot of time. I haven't had a lot of Wi-Fi to sit down with it. That is on my list of to-do, is that I'm going to sit down and learn this YouTube a little better and try to figure out how to navigate some of that and be in more of a dialogue with you guys. So if you want to ask me some questions, maybe we can have some conversations and help. Because it's not just applicable with van life, it's applicable in a lot of things in life. Okay, and I'm no expert, but